The first-person shooter genre is saturated, and it can be difficult for franchises to distinguish themselves, especially when competing with heavyweights like Call of Duty. Nonetheless, Borderlands has acquired a cult following, thanks to its irreverent humor and diverse arsenal of weapons. After the popularity of Borderlands 3, fans have been waiting for a new mainline Borderlands game, but it may be a while. According to the previous release calendar of Borderlands games, it is almost time for a new title. The release of spin-off titles such as Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, on the other hand, may make gamers wait a little longer than usual. However, for the fans out there, there's no reason to despair, because signs indicate that the studio is working on something. Looking at previous trends, we can predict when the next Borderlands game will be released. The first installment, launched in 2009, introduced gamers to the series' crazy humor and action-packed shootouts. Then, Borderlands 2, which was released in 2012, was the sequel. Borderlands Legends, a third-person shooter, was published the same year. Fans were treated to Borderlands the pre-sequel and Tales from the Borderlands in 2014. Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel were packed together as the Handsome Collection the following year, which came with all the related DLC. Then, Borderlands 3 was released in 2019. It was initially released on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, however, it has since been ported to current generation consoles. The following year, another bundle was released in the form of the Borderlands Legacy Collection, which contains Borderlands, the pre-sequel and Borderlands 3. The last new releases in the series came in 2022, when gamers received the graphic adventure game New Tales from the Borderlands and the spin-off title Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It appears that the wait between mainline games is about 3 to 4 years. If the pattern continues, gamers should expect to see Borderlands 4 this year or the following year. Do keep in mind, however, the very last message you see when completing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is that the team was struggling greatly to get the game finished and produced during the pandemic. Beyond that, things could also be affected by the fact that New Tales from the Borderlands and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands were released in 2022. Hence, the wait for Borderlands 4 may be a tad longer than usual. There has been no official news about Borderlands 4, but there are indications that the game is on the developers' minds. In 2021, Gearbox Software's Randy Pitchford replied to reports that future Borderlands games might be created by a separate firm. He denied the claims on Twitter, adding that the studio is working on the big one. Many have interpreted this as an indication that the team is working on Borderlands 4. Further clues have come from an earnings call-out. In the call, it is revealed that Gearbox has plans to release 10 games by 2026. It is safe to assume that Borderlands 4 is one of the titles planned, especially if one considers how much money the franchise has generated. Borderlands 3 alone ranked 113 million in a deal that made the game exclusive to Epic Games on PC for a year. Though if I may, I think that's a bit of a dick move. Let me just buy the game I want on the place where I want to play it. Thank you. Even though the studio has yet to explicitly mention Borderlands 4, there is good reason to believe the studio has not abandoned the franchise. Though gamers may have to wait a while for Borderlands 4, possibly another couple of years, that doesn't mean there won't be any Borderlands fun in the meantime. A spin-off titled Borderlands Vault Hunter Pinball is scheduled to release in 2023. The game combines the wackiness of Borderlands with classic pinball fun, and it should keep fans amused until official news about Borderlands 4 arrives, at least the old school fans. I am personally hyped to see what changes they'll make in Borderlands 4 and what new things will be added into the mix. And until we hear more, I'll be replaying Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with a bunch of my friends. Oh, how I love the mix of Borderlands and Dungeons and Dragons. Bunkers and badasses! Woo! Subscribe. I dare you.